my Mach wheels back.
So my cousin and I arrived at the car show, and it was full, so we just parked outside here on the side of the street, and we went over to look at the cars, and there were a bunch of cars there that were parked outside as well, like this Roush. Roush. Yeah. So this is a Toyota Supra. For those who do not know much about the Toyota Supras, they were in the 90s, and they were very, very overbuilt cars. So it has a straight six-cylinder, 2JZ, made very famous by the Fast and the Furious movies. But these cars can handle 1,000 horsepower the way they come. They come with either no turbo or two sequential turbos from what the guy was explaining to us. And a lot of guys will take off the twin turbo and they'll add one big turbo, and these things are really hard to beat on a roll race. And so it was really neat to see this original owner, 140,000 miles, completely stock. He was really nice to talk to. This Trans Am was really cool too, somewhere in the 40,000 mile range, and I talked to the owner, a nice lady who was sitting there. They came from Phoenix, has the 241 heads. They said that this was one of the last 14 built. And so it's a 2002, and that's what I was asking about the year and everything. And this is just really cool to see because it's a very iconic car for its time, and I like it because it's the generation of the muscle cars that I'm into. It's, you know, what would battle out my Mustangs generation of cars, and I have had the chance to drive a few of these. My brother-in-law had a 6-speed one. My little brother has had a 6-speed one, and we've been able to enjoy them and race them around. They're fun to have the T-tops out. I've had friends who had them as well, so I've ridden around in these a lot, and they're just really cool cars. This one was really clean, and they say the value of these is worth more than the Corvettes of its generation now. So pretty cool to see these Pontiac Firebird ws6s. So here is a Gen 3 Coyote with a Roush supercharger that was installed. I like that badge on there. I've wanted to get one of those badges to put on my toolbox or something because my 265 liter VMP was actually made by Roush. It was one of the earlier VMP blowers. And so it's pretty cool. But here's just kind of a look around at all the cars here. A lot of them are the same ones that I've had in other videos. Kind of the local group of car people around here, kind of the same cars show up to the same shows. Decided to support the place that was putting on the show and buy some lunch there and enjoy walking around and eating. Outside there was this Hellcat, and I couldn't believe how filthy this was. For such an expensive car and for such a cool car, I can't believe that this one looks like it hasn't been washed for a long time. There was a blue one in my neighborhood, same story, just really, really filthy all the time. They never washed it, and so I just had to show the car. I like the car. I think it's really neat. I'm just surprised that they wouldn't take the time to wash and clean it up. And it hasn't rained here for a long time, so lots of, tint peeling off and stuff. But anyway, here's some artwork under the hood of a horse blowing fire out of its nose on this Roush Stage 3. And this is a neat looking car. There was a kid in town who had this same car. I don't know if this is the exact car, but we went out and raced it against my friend's Kenny Bell 2-valve Mustang, and the Kenny Bell beat it. But it might have been driver mod that was responsible for that. But the kid in town who had one of these with the green on it and everything, he took it to the dealership and they dropped it off the lift and it bashed up the side of it and stuff. So pretty interesting story. I think of that every time I see this. But pretty cool looking Coyote Rouge. And then here is a 3-valve Mustang engine with a 96 to 98 GT badge on it. Starter in there, and that's a joke. My friend and I were talking about how hard it is to replace the starters on the 4.6. It's not really difficult, but they are harder to get to, and I thought that's really easy. Now this Mustang, if you want to pause and read everything about this, it's like a 605 horsepower crate engine, 65 Mustang. And it's made to be kind of like a tribute to Cara Shelby road racing car, and There's a lot of information there. This car has a lot done to it, and it was actually pretty nice. It still carries the 289 badge on the fender, even though it's a bigger engine now. And anyway, it's a nice car. I kind of walked past it because it wasn't a fastback at first, but then when you look into it, you can see it was actually a very, very nice car with a whole lot done to it. And I'm sure this was a very expensive build, and it was very clean, very nice. And I don't think I've actually seen this car before, so it's fun to see new cars come to the car shows. Like I had mentioned earlier, most of the cars here are ones that I've seen before. But really neat looking car, had like a bumper tow hook right here into the bumper, so pretty interesting. Had Willwood brakes and stuff. Just a really nice looking car. Axle shafts I can see in there, and so I'm sure there's a lot done to this car, a lot of expense in this one, and it was very, very beautiful. So just wanted to show this car and give it a little bit of respect and just kind of look over it for a little bit. Very nice looking car. And my friend Mike always says, how come you don't give the Mustang 2s any love? So this is just for Mike. If you're watching, put it in the comment below. This one has a 302 in it. I believe the guy had swapped it out, and if I remembered, it was out of a Fox body 302, but this one's really nice and well done. I had seen one of these sitting in the junkyard with no wheels on it. It was black, everything like that, and sometimes I wonder if this was that same car, and probably not, but you can see they've put a lot into this, and this is a rare car. You don't see hardly any of these Mustang 2s around. The Cobra II, and has the badges there, or the stripes on the side, and you know, very nice car, very well done. The red's kind of fun, I think, the bright red on the interior there. And then here's a ZL1 Camaro. I thought I might as well record this. It's a neat car, LT4 supercharged, and you know, if I'm going to record some of the cars, I might as well record a few like this that I really like. My friend bought a blue one of these recently, and they're really neat cars. They come factory supercharged, and they're just a lot of fun, a lot of power, and the automatic's really quick on these two. So really good looking car. I've seen it before at the other shows and stuff, but that's a fun car. I like it. This is a 50th anniversary Corvette. And so if you look at the badge, it actually says anniversary, 50 years, 50th. So that's 2003, because it's 1953 to 2003. It's 50 years. And there was even a 60th anniversary Corvette over there with the 427. It was the only convertible that had the ws6 engine. But anyway, you might have seen a glimpse of it. But this is a friend's 65 or 6 Fastback, and he's the one who kind of runs all the shows around here. And another Stage 3 Roush. This is a 429R, so that would be a 2009. And so that's what they did with Roush. 427 was an 07, 428 was a 08, and 429 was an 09. And from what I can tell, that's usually the case. But I did come across this white Roush 427R. And as you can see here on the side, it has the 427R, so that would make you think it's a 2007. But looking into it, the owner who was selling this car claimed it was a 2008. And so I did look at the window sticker on it and the Roush sticker, and it actually did show that the car was listed as a 2008 427R. So that probably does mean it was an 08 427R, and in some cases it might be different. And I did see 2008 428R cars listed, so it is a thing. Now, I did see that they were saying the 428 had a different horsepower rating, but it looked like that's what the plaque on that car was. So either that was just an early 2008 inconsistency, or they did have a couple of options like that. So if you know the details to this, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm always learning. I'm not a Roush expert or a 3-valve expert, so let me know what you know. So, fun car show. Mach 1's looking good over there. Time to head out.